Hey everybody, hope you're enjoying your day. This is Laura with Untitled Typewriters. We're taking a look at a Smith Coronet Electric 12 today. And I believe this is a 1970s version. And honestly, I think this is the original color, but go to the product listing. I will find out for sure if it's original or if Rob painted it, but I'm thinking this is original and it looks really, really nice. It's gorgeous. Okay, let's take a look at how to use it. Now this has a 12-inch carriage, which is longer than most. And this comes in really handy if you ever plan on using larger paper. You can put in paper in landscape, or you can use a variety of sizes of paper because they are available out there. I do get questions every once in a while whether there has to be a specific type of paper that you use for typewriters, and no. There is typing paper out there. I personally just use the printer paper from Walmart. And then you can use cardstock, but just keep in mind the thicker the cardstock, the more it can bend. So that's all, the only thing you want to think about. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at how this works. Obviously your keyboard inside, and here's going to be your ribbon and your escapement, and then this is your carriage, which is where you're going to put your paper. Paper holder comes in very handy. Margins, you press and drag where you would like your margins to be. Remember, this is not a computer and it auto sets everything. Also, it doesn't go to the next line for you. So in fact, you have to hit this return handle to advance to the next line when you get to the end of your margin. Also, when you get to the end of your margin, you're going to hear a bell just like that. And that tells you, hey, you're at the end of your margin. To move the carriage like I just did, there's a lever right here on the right side. The left side lever is missing, just so you know, but you just pull it in. That bell's gonna ding whenever you get close to that margin, and then the carriage is only gonna move as far as you have the margins set. All right, so let's move the carriage to the left, open up the top. You're gonna see inside of here, we've got a universal ribbon, and we have a 2-color ribbon for you. When it is time to change it out, make sure black is on top, red is on bottom, and that the ribbon is threaded properly through all these guide wires. Like this came out, and so just put it back in. And that happens. So when we ship our typewriters, we put packing inside, around, it gets jostled around. A lot of times these ribbons even just fall out, even though we try to pack them really tight. So before you type on your typewriter, when you get it, open it up, make sure the ribbon is in there and it's still in the guide wires. And if it's not, there's a link, in the listing, just in the description below. Go to that, you'll see an up-close photo, and that way you can reference that to make sure it's loaded properly. And then once you're sure it's loaded properly, then go ahead and turn it on and start typing. Now, there is the ribbon on this spool. When it gets to the end of the spool, this ribbon does not auto reverse. You have to manually reverse it, and you do it right here. It says rev, that means ribbon reversal. You just flip that button and it reverses direction, so you can keep using the ribbon, because there's a lot of ink on there, and you should be able to reverse the direction on your ribbon about 30, 40, 50, 60 times before you need to replace it. Now, and then when you need to replace it, you just pull it out, pop a new one in, and you can get new ribbons on our website at jotandtittletypewriters.com. Please keep in mind that between the typing demos, the packing, and the shipping, this little lever gets jostled around. So all of our typewriters have new ribbon, but if it arrives and you start typing and it's already at the end of the spool, it's not because it's an old ribbon, it's just because this lever has got pushed around, okay? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and do a typing demo. All right, so you're gonna wanna put your paper right here. Now with a 12-inch carriage, there's so much space that I like to use the paper guide, and that's right here, and I bring it in because especially if you have maybe more than one page in your project, you wanna make sure your margins are in the same place. And speaking of margins, let's go ahead and set them to whatever you want. And then by just setting it next to that paper guide, that way each page is gonna have the margin's gonna be in the same place, okay? So I bring that all the way around, and it's a little uneven. And I want my paper to be even, because otherwise your type is going to be like angled. So on the right side is a lever, metal lever, and you pull that forward, and that's a paper release. And you just line your paper up, make sure it's nice and even, re-engage that, and voila. Also, make sure your paper is underneath this metal bar. Over here on the left side, this is your line selector, because when you hit that return handle, it's going to advance either 1 line, 2 lines, or 3 lines, however you prefer. All right. Let's go ahead and do some typing. So your on-off switch is over here on the right side. Color selector is right here. Tab, and then set and clear your tabs. Ribbon reversal, and then the copy set. Really, it doesn't do anything, but what it is, I'll move this, is it determines how hard these strike bars are going to hit your paper. All right, let's go ahead and get started. For electric typewriters, I always like to give it about 10 seconds to make sure all the gears are engaged. Doesn't mean you have to, I just like to make sure everything's going. All right, so 1970s. All right, nice clear font, and it's also really, it's a larger font, so it's easy to read. Let's set the tab right here. Oh, I forgot to do the shift lock. Let's do the shift lock. Now the tabs really are only used if you're creating columns. A lot of people don't even use the tabs. But if you want to use it, it's there. You could use it to, let's say you're writing a story and you want to indent a quote or something like that, then that comes in handy. I'm going to do this line again because I think I skipped one. Yeah, there it is. I skipped over a letter. Okay, so there's that bell. Remember that bell says, hey, you're at the end of your line. You need to hit your return handle. Let's try our red ribbon. There's that bell, but instead of hitting the return handle, I'm going to keep going. And all. Okay, so now it's going to stop on me. It's not going to let me type because I'm at the end of the margin. So what I do is I hit MR for margin release, finish my word. Now I can hit the return handle. So a lot of times when you're doing longer projects, you often are right in the middle of a word or a thought when that bell goes off. And so that's what the margin release is for. It lets you finish off that word or thought, and then you can hit the return handle. Okay, so this is an amazing typewriter. So it does show signs of wear on it. I mean, it's still in excellent condition, but looking at it, you can tell it's not brand new, and it's not because it's 50 years old. So, but you can just see little scuffs here and there. It's not a lot. You can look at the up-close photos. It types very well. The font's nice and clear. There's a clean new ribbon in it. The exterior still looks really darn good for 50 years old. This is going to be awesome. For those of you who have, okay, let's say you do want a typewriter for a really long writing project and you're not used to typewriters, may I suggest you use something like this. One, it's affordable. Two, it being an electric typewriter, it's not gonna hurt your fingers as much because manual typewriters do require a bit of strength in your fingers, especially your pinky. because you're hitting shift, and on manuals, that shift is literally lifting the carriage, and it starts to hurt after a while if it's a super long project. The reason I bring it up is I just spent the week, I probably typed a good 100 pages, probably closer to 200 pages this week, and this little pinky is pretty sore. But so if you're writing a book and you're new to typewriters or it's a long project, may I suggest this. This is an amazing typewriter. Also, if you have kids and you want something for them to work on other than a computer, here you go, because this is easy to use, it's easy to type on. And also, if you're just looking for something to have around the house for every once in a while, you want to be able to have a typewriter and whip it out and use it, this is excellent. So thanks so much for watching. If you guys have questions about this, let me know, but be sure to visit that product listing link in the description below, and also go to untiltedtypewriters.com to see what other typewriters we have available. Remember, every Saturday we upload new typewriter listings. They do sell quickly, so I highly suggest you check our website every Saturday morning. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day.